Hey there, it's your boy Foxy, back for more relationship stories. Am I wrong for telling my husband he knew what he was signing up for before he married me? My husband, 38 male, and I, 36 female, have recently got into a conflict over my closeness to my best friend, 36 female. I've been friends with Anna since we were in kindergarten, and we even went to the same college. After college, we moved into a nice one-bedroom apartment together to save money. As we grew and got our funds together, we invested in a 3-bedroom and 2-bathroom house that we renovated together, and we have lived there together for 5 years now. 4 years ago, I met my husband and we instantly clicked. After a few weeks, he met Anna, and over the 2 years we dated, we all hung out several times together. He proposed, and we ended up talking about our future. Rob wanted us to move in together, but I didn't want to move out of my house into an apartment, and he couldn't afford to make the investment in a house together, so I talked to Anna, and Rob moved in with us a couple months after. After we got married, he talked to me about how my friendship with Anna made him deeply uncomfortable. I'm very close with Anna, and there are no filters when we talk together. We have sleepovers sometimes and go out on little dates, but that's how we've always been. Rob has never previously voiced discomfort with how we are, despite knowing us for 4 years, and I think he only is doing this because I recently told him how Anna confessed her love for me when we first bought the house together. I got angry when he said this, and told him this is what he signed up for. And if he had a problem with it, then he should have told me years ago. I love my husband deeply, but I'm not willing to get rid of Anna just because he's insecure. We have been distant for a few days and I feel I shouldn't have been blunt, but it's the truth. I don't know what to say, and I'm starting to feel bad. I think I might be the a-hole due to how he's reacting. Now for the top comments. Are you leading 2 people on? I was totally on board with not the a-hole, but then I got to the part where she said, Anna confessed her love to me, and I was flabbergasted. My best friend and I have been together since we were 2. We love each other. But we don't live together, we aren't in love with each other, we're not intimately attracted to one another. OP's relationship sounds a lot like how my life could have played out, going to college and living with my bestie if I hadn't met my spouse so young. My spouse was jealous of our relationship in the beginning because she is basically my sister, but that lasted a year or 2, and now the 2 of them are fine with each other. This situation is crazy. She's living with 2 people who are in love with her, and she's married one of them. You're the idiot. Why did you marry Anna? You have a deep commitment with her, but honestly, marrying your now husband was kind of a low blow. You're not giving either of them the full relationship with you that they both desire, and that is just insanely selfish. Pick one. I was afraid. My family is Jamaican and I knew I would instantly get disowned. I do love her, but I never viewed a gay marriage as anything possible for us. I sat her down to have that talk after the confession to explain all of this, and the conclusion we basically came to was that if we couldn't have each other, we could at least stay by each other's side. When I met my husband, he was everything I ever wanted in a man. I'm in love with Rob and I can't imagine divorcing him, but I can't just throw away Anna. I can tell Anna has moved on and has even gotten into a few serious relationships that didn't work out, but she's over me. Was on your side, till you said Anna confessed her love and you just told him recently. He did not have all the information going into the marriage. You waited till after you were married to give him this information. It changes the dynamic entirely. You're wrong. Of course he's insecure. You've been living with someone who loves you for 5 years and just told him about it. He did not know what he was signing up for. I don't even feel bad for Anna anymore. According to OP's comments, they are soulmates. And had OP's family not been homophobic, they may have ended up married. Anna and OP both are screwing this man over. Right. OP claims her husband knew what he signed up for, but then trickled in information as she saw fit. Pure bait and switch. OP, you're the idiot. Next story. Am I wrong for telling my girlfriend she needs to buy her own airplane ticket? I booked a 2-week vacation to Europe about 7 months ago, including flights and lodging. My new girlfriend of 5 months said she wants to come with me. I told her I would love that, but she'd have to pay for her own flight. I told her I could include her in my hotel accommodations and would pay for food, tours, attractions, etc. She said she cannot afford the flight, which costs about $700 since she is booking last minute. She asked me if I could buy her plane ticket, and I told her I did not budget for another plane ticket, and that I thought it was already fair for me to pay for other things on the trip for us. She said she really wanted to spend this vacation with me, and said this could be her early anniversary or birthday gift to her, and I would not need to buy her a gift. I told her another plane ticket was not in my budget. She said I make more money than her and I should be able to afford it, I just don't want to take her. I told her I would love for her to come, but I cannot buy her plane ticket because I did not budget for it, and I have other financial obligations. I told her she either needs to pay for her own ticket, or I'll see her when I come back home. She told me to forget about it, because I am acting selfish when we are supposed to be a partnership, and said, hopefully I will still be here when you get back. Not wrong. Who's spending $700 on an anniversary gift or birthday? This is nutty. Right. I do love her, but the relationship is still new and that is a lot of money. Well, I think you can safely assume what you're getting yourself into if you choose to stay in a relationship with this person. Not wrong. Your girlfriend is not entitled to that type of spending, but clearly she thinks she is. Enjoy your vacation. While there, be sure to notice how much more relaxed you are away from this woman. Well, I might not have a girlfriend when I get back according to her, so she's doing you a favor. She is too selfish to be long-term material. If she leaves you over this, you don't want her back when you get home. It's been 5 months, not 5 years. Don't let her manipulate you now or she'll never stop. Not wrong. It's been 5 months, you're still in the honeymoon phase of getting to know each other, and you just learned 2 very important pieces of information about her. She believes she is entitled to your money, and she has no problem pulling the emotional blackmail crap when she doesn't get her way. Pull the plug on the relationship now before you get used to her behavior. It isn't going to get better. Absolutely this. Emotional blackmail is the perfect way to put it. It's incredibly manipulative and very gross behavior. The absolute cheek of inviting yourself onto a trip and expecting that the other person will foot the entire bill. Jesus Christ, how do people like this get into relationships? Next story. Am I wrong for not letting my homeless boyfriend move in with me? Hi. I am 30 female who has been dating this guy 27 male for almost 3 years. We have been on again off again, and honestly, it's beginning to show that it's just not working. But we do love each other and he makes me feel safe, but we just both want different things. I have a good career, own my 2-bedroom condo, my car and so on, so I want my partner to be my equal. He used to work on cars, but then got fired for attitude problems, and was a delivery driver up until Sept of last year. He was living rent-free at a friend's house until that friend decided to sell the home and move out of state. My boyfriend and his cat are now living with his brother and his wife, while not contributing to bills. Now my boyfriend is mad that I won't let him move in, but he can't contribute to the bills, and he doesn't like to clean and complains about it when I ask him to help me. He says, well, if you don't want me at my lowest, then you don't deserve me at my peak. He has no education, trade skills, or anything, and just keeps saying he is going to join the military, but he keeps getting rejected. He knows I love his cat, and is now threatening to get rid of the cat if I don't let him move in. I've told him so many times that I believe in him, but I refuse to allow him to sit around my home, eat my food, and do nothing. And before anyone asks why I don't just adopt the cat and leave the man, I can't take his cat because I currently have 3 of my own, and his has feline leukemia, which is a serious condition and is contagious to other felines. Am I the a-hole for telling him no? Now for the comments. Plot twist. This is his peak. Not wrong, and protect yourself. From this description, I reckon he peaked when he was a high school freshman. I am not one to assume he completed high school. You're the idiot for not breaking up with him already. Stop dragging it on. You might be right. Honestly, I'm not sure how it got this far. I am right. This entire post is you complaining about how much disdain you have for him. I don't know how it isn't more obvious. I don't have disdain, but I am extremely frustrated and disappointed in myself for letting it drag out. Don't beat yourself up, OP. You got together with him when you were in your mid-late 20s, now you're 30 and he hasn't grown the same way you have. Sometimes it's easy to just let things continue on as they are even if they aren't great, until something big happens and it wakes you up and you think, oh my god, what have I been doing? This is that moment for you. Not wrong, but you're cutting it close, at least to yourself. Good job not letting him move in, but he's almost 30 and still couch surfing. Do you honestly see a future where you're not as bang made? In the beginning it wasn't like this, he had his own place and a decent job. Then he started smoking weed more for his stress, which made him lazy. Honestly, I don't mind if someone smokes, just do it responsibly. I've seen him stand on his own 2 feet before, I just didn't think it'd be the last time. OP, I've been in your situation. It will not get better, it will just keep getting worse. Nothing you try to help him up will work. Get out before you waste any more time on this guy. You may have started out close to equals, but your trajectories are opposites. Your career and hard work will have you steadily climbing higher, while he keeps sinking lower. I'm speaking from experience. I wasted twice as many years as you on the same dude, and trust me, you don't want to know what's waiting for you at the lowest point. Best thing I've ever done in my life is get out and keep working on myself. I eventually met my true equal when I was happily single and enjoying my freedom. And we lived happily ever after, now 15 years together, married, own our house and love our pets. My ex was only dragging me down. He predictably never went anywhere with his life, and I can't imagine my own life without my true soulmate who is making us dinner as we speak. Please get out. It seems scary, but you can do this. And you're lucky that you don't live together and can make an easy clean break. Last story. Am I wrong for trying to stop a vacation my ex is planning with the kids? Every year my ex takes our 3 kids on vacation. Usually it's to Colorado where her mom has a vacation home. Every few years they go somewhere else. I called my youngest last night and she put me on speakerphone like she usually does. I overheard my ex saying that this year they were not going to Colorado and needed to decide where to go. She didn't know I could overhear her, and I don't think she even knew I was on the phone. So her and the kids were just yelling back and forth at each other ideas of where to go. My oldest then said, "Can we get 2 hotel rooms this year? We are getting too big to share." So X yells back, "Yeah, there are 5 of us. It's not like we fit in one room. Plus, we are going to have to rent a van or a bigger car." This yelling back and forth is normal for them. Instead of sitting down and having a normal discussion, everyone just talks as loud as possible across the house. I asked the youngest, who is going with them since there is just the ex and 3 kids. She says, "Josh, ex's fiance. Who else would be going?" I just say okay and continue to talk to my daughter. She refuses to let me meet this man and said that when I decide to be a real father and are part of the kid's life I can meet him. Until then, nope. They also don't live together as my ex's house is too small and are waiting until she moves into a new house later this year. I have not seen the kids in person except 3 times in the past 4 years because I can't drive and I am disabled. I still have 50-50 legal custody and am supposed to have them 2 overnights a week. She makes all the decisions and basically leaves me out of everything. I call my ex later and tell her that I don't agree that her fiancé should be going on vacation with the kids and that I find it inappropriate. She again tells me when I can step up and be a real parent and see the kids, be a real part of their lives other than a phone call to play Fortnite and pay child support, then I can have an opinion. Until then, I don't get a say. I told her that I would be seeing her in court if she didn't agree not to take him with them. She just laughed and hung up. I then called the kids and told them that I didn't want them to go on vacation with mom's boyfriend. They all said he went last year to Colorado and he's a nice guy. My 16-year-old son just told me, "Sorry you suck so much that you can't find anyone." I am contacting an attorney today to see about stopping her from taking the fiancé with them and possibly stopping him from living with them until they are at least married. This is an expense I really cannot afford, but we'll have to find a way. She, on the other hand, has an attorney paid for by her brother. I have run this by a few friends and they all say I am the idiot because I don't deal with the kids in their day-to-day life, and whoever this dude is part of their day-to-day life, and the kids say he's a good guy. My family, on the other hand, thinks that I am doing the right thing, as I should have a say in my kid's life. You're the idiot. You have to get your priorities straight, man. You're willing to hire an attorney to prevent your ex from taking her boyfriend on that vacation, but you don't do anything to actually get that 50-50 custody. Sure, you've got it on paper, but not in reality. You've seen your own children only 3 times in the last 4 years. That's insane. You need to step up as their father because you're not doing a great job right now. I understand that things are harder because of you being disabled and unable to drive. But there's public transport. Hell, maybe you could even get an attorney to make it so that your ex has to drop the kids off at your place and then pick him back up when they go to her place again. Your priority should be your children, not your ex's boyfriend, who has clearly been in the picture for a while now. Please, for your children's sake, do better. Edit to add. Just read in the comments that you only live 5 miles away from them. The fact that even though you live so nearby you have only seen your children 3 times during the last 4 years is absolutely insane. Makes me agree with your ex even more. And then you dare complain that she's bringing her boyfriend of at least a year to this trip. You need to get your priorities straight or you're just gonna lose your kids. You're absolutely failing them with the way you're doing things now. And OP confirmed in comments that he does not pay child support, making him the biggest a-hole of them all. I'm also really unsure about the child support comment. Can't tell if he's saying that she said she won't let him have an opinion until he starts visiting his kids and pays child support, or if he's saying the only involvement he has with his kids is child support and occasional phone calls about gaming. Either way, you're the idiot. Absent fathers don't get to dictate how the children's mother lives her life. And clearly her fiancé is more of a dad to those kids than Opus is. This is the best or worst part. He doesn't pay child support, but he's ready to hire a lawyer to make his kids' lives more complicated. Metal father. Hey there, it's your boy Foxy, back for more relationship stories. Update. I just caught my girlfriend doing it with my dad. Original post. So to start, I male 22, have been with my soon-to-be ex-girlfriend Kate female 21 for just shy of 3 years. Our relationship throughout the 3 years has been amazing. She had always been kind and supportive and very open and honest with me. We had dates often, our intimate life was great, we had very few arguments, but when we did get into a disagreement, we managed to communicate and come to an understanding before long. I believed our relationship to be healthy and loving, but apparently I was wrong. On to the story. About a week ago, I had started to notice that Kate was becoming very touchy about me being on or around her phone. This was odd to me, because not only had she always let me use her phone to make calls if mine was flat or I didn't have immediate access to mine, but she had also downloaded games for me to play on her phone so she could distract me when she wanted to watch her shows. Kate began snapping at me for asking to borrow her phone, or snatching it out of my hand if I was so much as moving it away from the edge of the counter so it wouldn't fall. And whenever I questioned her behavior, she brushed it off and explained she was just in a bad mood. Her constant dismissal of my noticeable confusion began to annoy me, so I asked her if she was hiding anything from me, which led to an argument about her saying I was accusing her of infidelity and not trusting her, and began trying to get physical with me. In which case I shut the argument down and told her to sleep in the guest bedroom. She was very angry about it, but I told her we would talk about it in the morning. When we did talk about it, she apologized for her behavior and gave me her phone. I told her I trusted her and I didn't need to go through it, and to be frank, I did trust her, and I believed her outburst to be due to the ongoing stress at work, which was clearly stupid of me. The next day I noticed she had gotten a mist from my father. I had never known my father to like Kate or even have her contacted that. In fact, I was convinced they both disliked each other. At any and every family event, they would often argue or make snarky remarks at one another until we would have to leave due to the tense atmosphere they had created. So I decided to ask Kate why my father had called her. She physically froze and mumbled an excuse about it being my birthday soon and that he had planned something. But my father and I were never very close, so I didn't understand why he would. But I played it off and decided to go about my day. Then the following night, I had texted her explaining that I had a late shift and I would be back around 10 p.m. the latest, which I did. We ended up being dismissed early due to an incident regarding our manager and a few staff, and so I was heading home by 7 p.m. I tried calling her but she had her phone off, so I assumed it had gone flat or she had turned it off, which she does often at home. When I made it home, I noticed my father's car 2 houses down from ours, and so I tried calling him but his phone was also turned off, which I found odd because my mother likes his phone to be on so she can call him when she needs him as she's handicapped. I assumed my mother was with him, so I opened the door quietly to surprise her as I haven't seen her in a while, and I was met with the sight of my girlfriend bent over the kitchen counter with my father behind her. They both froze and started profusely yelling and telling me it wasn't what it looked like, and that they could explain. But I shut and locked the door from the outside with a deadbolt and made my way to a friend's house. Since then, they've both been blowing up my phone apologizing and begging me not to say anything to anyone. And quite frankly, I'm just disgusted. Disgusted in my father who is turning 60 next month and has my mother to take care of, and disgusted in Kate who was getting railed by my father for who knows how long. I honestly just want to throw up and set them both on fire, but I'm most worried about how my mother will take this situation, as she's very dependent on my father and adores him. How should I go about this? I don't need closure or to confront them. I don't want to know how their gross relationship started or how long it's been going on for. I just need advice on how to approach the situation without causing a bigger mess than there already is. Any advice is welcome. Thank you for reading. Now for the top advice before reading the update. Wow, painful on every level. The word betrayal isn't strong enough. It's also a surreal feeling when all the odd behaviors before make sense now. This just happened too, and the fallout will unfortunately have a longer lifespan. As a gentle reminder, you don't have to figure out the situation with your mom right this minute or even tomorrow. This has got to be a huge emotional shock, and you get to take time to process what's happened and your initial emotional state before figuring out the next steps. And remember, it's not your fault. None of it happened because of you. You're important and you're loved. Take each day as it comes. Disown your father, never speak to him, and break up with her. Way ahead of you. Good for you for walking out. Even if he was my father, I would beat him to a pulp. To do that to your child. Wicked. He shouldn't feel only sorry. He should go to hell. Stay strong, man. Just by you not losing it shows you are 10 times better person than your father and that girl. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Your father will have already said something to your mother, I assume. Like a lie prepared to get her not to believe you. Have your girlfriend pack her bags, she can stay anywhere else. If she's refusing to leave, stay with a mate for now. Your mom is harder, she's in a more vulnerable position. Ultimately, it's up to her whether she wants to stay or leave, but let her know that she can stay with you, or that you'll help her move her stuff out if she has another person's house she can stay at, as I assume you're in a one-bedroom apartment. I don't know her personality, but given her disability and the length of their marriage, she may feel more inclined to stay. Best not to pressure her to leave, just have you both support each other. Please let her know that she isn't less than, she doesn't deserve this, and that he had no right to do that to her, just like your girlfriend had no right to do this to you. You both deserve better than this. I'm sorry this happened. I'm worried your father will argue that he needed to be cared for, instead of doing the caring to guilt your disabled mother into finding his actions excusable. But there's no excuse for cheating, especially with your son's girlfriend. Now for the first update. Hey guys, I apologize for not updating you all sooner. A lot has happened since my last post, but a big thanks to those who messaged and commented with advice and kind words. As per someone's advice, I asked my mother to lunch, and after some small talk, informed her of the situation. She was understandably upset and in denial about the situation, as my father had spoken to her prior about me still holding a grudge, a story for another time, and that I would be likely to come up with a lie to turn her against him for revenge. But after showing her the messages they had sent afterward, she was distraught and visibly angry about the ordeal. I then asked her if she would be comfortable with me sending an email to our relevant family members and Kate's parents and siblings. And while she was a little reluctant about it, she had said she didn't want the backlash from his family for leaving him. I then did just that. I sent an email explaining the situation and that my mother and I would be going no contact with both Kate and my father and low contact with anyone who gave either of us any grief for our decision. Now she is staying with her older sister, while I'm with a close mate until we can figure out a stable living situation for us both. Now onto the actual update. After the email was sent, there was radio silence for a day or two, before both my mother and I were bombarded with a mix of messages that I'll just summarize in small paragraphs. Kate's parents were evidently enraged that I accused their daughter of such a thing, and that they would be suing me for defamation on their daughter's behalf. I then took the liberty of sending them the screenshots from both Kate's and my father's messages, and they left me on scene for a couple days, before replying to me and informing me that while they wouldn't sue me, they would appreciate if I kept the situation under wraps. My father was the first to message my mother, attempting to convince her that I staged the messages, and that I was being petty and lying. And when she wouldn't believe him, he accused her of cheating on him, and trying to find a way out of their marriage, which evidently isn't possible for my mother as she has trouble getting from place to place on her own. He then apologized and told her he was just frustrated, and asked to see her, and when she declined he again accused her of cheating and staying with her lover while abandoning him. My maternal grandparents and paternal grandparents had very different messages, and not in the way I thought they would. My paternal grandparents apologized for his behavior, and told my mother that if she needed support in the future they were available, and informed her they would be disowning and going no contact with my father. My maternal grandparents, however, despite being the people that raised her, told her that due to her injury and not being able to fulfill her husband's needs, it was only right of him to look elsewhere for fulfillment. And while they understood that it was wrong because it was my partner, Kate was available for him, and my mother should forgive him and move on. They also made a point to state that my mother needs my father more than he needs her. Kate's two older sisters reached out and thanked me for telling them, and informed us that if my mother and I, needed any assistance in the future in regards to my mother's health, as one is an elderly caretaker and the other is a physiotherapist, that they were willing to help. These aren't all the messages, but they're the relevant ones. I'll make a part 2 so this post doesn't get too long. First and foremost, I applaud you for handling this situation with admirable strength and unwavering resilience. Second, and pardon my language, your dad is a conniving, egotistic, idiotic, and selfish son of a witch who deserves to live his life in isolation and regret. Third, your maternal grandparents are apparently as idiotic as your dad, and ironically they have a commonality: none of them deserves you or your mom. Fourth, your ex is a vacuous nymphomaniac who, like your father, deserves to live her life in isolation and regret. Lastly, I wish that from this day forward, you'll have a great life and a loyal partner to spend it with someday, because you deserve it. I hope 2023 is kinder to you, sir. Now for the second update. My mother and I gave ourselves a few days to get through all the messages and phone calls, and blocked my maternal grandparents as well as my father, as my mother didn't already have him blocked. I contacted my landlord and real estate agent and informed them briefly of the situation and that I was no longer living on the premises and that I would like to have my name taken off the lease. Luckily, our lease was being renewed in that coming week, and the next day they contacted Kate to inform her that I had taken my name off the lease for the following month. And in the next week, if she was unable to take on my portion of rent, she would have 3 months to vacate the property. I don't know how she reacted, but I could tell it wasn't overly ecstatic as her parents contacted me and asked if, despite everything, I would be willing to pay for her rent just for this month because she doesn't have the money for it at the moment. Obviously, I declined and told them that I no longer have anything to do with her anymore. They then informed me she was pregnant with my child and needed assistance from the father of her baby, and this would be a last goodbye. I just laughed and told them I most definitely wasn't the father of that baby if she was pregnant, and if she needed assistance from her baby daddy to contact my father, then I hung up and blocked them. On a brighter note, my mother and I have just put a down payment on a house together and are looking into hiring a caregiver to help my mother for when I have work or trips out of state. My father has attempted to call both of us from multiple phone numbers and had numerous family members try to persuade my mother into meeting up with him to chat, and as a result, my mother and I have gotten a new phone numbers to avoid his mess. I also happened to hear from a mate that Kate is trying to hire a lawyer so she can get child support money from me, but apparently because she has no proof I'm the father and refuses to take a DNA test of the baby, she hasn't had any luck. Edit. I forgot to mention it above as I didn't see it as important when writing this, but Kate is apparently 5 weeks pregnant. We haven't been intimate for just under 2 months, so the baby is unlikely to be mine. If it is, I will pay child support, but I want proof before I pay her money for a baby that may or may not be mine. Just to clarify, Kate and I weren't having issues during the time we weren't intimate. I was too tired to initiate due to work commitments, and at the time I assumed she was as well, but it's likely her needs were met by either my father or other parties. Something else I forgot to mention, yes, I did get in test for STIs and UTIs, and any sort of infections I may not be aware of, and all tests came back negative, so I'm in the clear in that sense. You're absolutely correct to block and go no contact with the lot of them, anyone who is even 1% on your father's or Kate's side. There is zero excuse or reason to do that to your husband, nor your son. I feel like the maternal grandparents need a particular call out. I could never fathom saying what they said to anyone who had gone through being cheated on, let alone my own daughter. They 1000% should have had your mum's back, and they have absolutely failed as human beings. I hope it all comes good for you and your mum. You guys did nothing to deserve this. The only people that deserve this are people that do this. Agreed. It would be bad enough to hear that from the paternal grandparents, but her own mother and father. Only thing I can think is that they are familiar with having to deal with her handicap and related issues, and thus consider her lucky to have a man at all or some BS. Even if they were right and he needs to step out to get something he can't get at home due to wife's handicap, he could have tried to reach an arrangement with his wife first instead of cheating. I am in no way trying to excuse or justify or mitigate maternal grandparents' egregious response, just had to try and figure it out for me. It was so shocking to read. All that aside, even if he had an open marriage arrangement and stepping out was previously approved, he definitely didn't need to be with his own son's significant other. So reprehensibly vile. Have you told her parents that you can't be the father, and if there's proof, you're willing to pay? Because that should shut them up. Aside from that, I wish you and your mother the best. Rough situation, but I hope you're making it through. Once I've gotten my mother into a stable environment, I'll indulge them in their drama. But for now, I have to focus on getting my mother comfortable. I'll definitely inform them though, thank you. Your mother is lucky to have you. Sounds like you have each other backs through this horrible betrayal. Thank you for the support and kind words. Last story. My girlfriend is having a hard time since she found out her ex is getting married. Original post. I, 28 male, have been dating my girlfriend, 30 female, for about 8 months now, and things are going well for the most time. We normally meet once for dinner during the weekdays and then spend the weekend together. But the last time I saw my girlfriend was 2 weeks ago, and since then my girlfriend has not wanted to see me because she needs some space. The reason she needs the space is because she was hit really hard by the news of her ex getting married. She dated him for 9 years, from the age of 18 to 27. From what she has told me, they broke up because they were not on the same page about the future of the relationship. My girlfriend wanted to get married and he never wanted to get married. So eventually they broke up. It's almost been 4 years since they broke up. I never even suspected my girlfriend might still be having feelings for him, but after watching her strong reaction to his marriage, I can't be so sure of that. The guy is getting married to someone he has dated for less than a year. And yes, it's weird, but I don't think it really deserves that much of a reaction unless she is still in love with him. I am at a loss on how to proceed, guys. Any advice will be appreciated. Now for the top advice before the mini update at the end. It's the Harry and Sally moment, and yes, I'm dating myself here. She spent 10 years with her ex, and they parted ways because she wanted marriage and he didn't. So the breakup in her mind was mourned as we wanted different things. But when he gets married, she can no longer put that breakup in the "we wanted different things" bucket. But that he wasn't against marriage, he was against marrying her. It makes it more personal, so she now is dealing with a whole range of emotions. She doesn't want him back, doesn't still love him, but is hurt because she feels something is wrong with her. Now saying all of that, I'm not sure if I could jump back into a relationship with someone who stopped talking to me because they needed to mourn like this. It would irrationally make me feel like second place. And depending on how serious the relationship is, I might choose to part ways. She clearly has some stuff to work through. So you have to decide if you are good with waiting to see, or if you prefer to just cut your losses. We can't answer that for you. 8 months into dating my now husband, we were serious, so I would have waited to have a discussion, but other people, nope. I have decided to wait till the end of the month. If she is still taking space by then, I will know what I have to do. And I am sorry, but I haven't seen the movie. Sorry for digressing, but I highly recommend it. When Harry Met Sally might be 33 years old now, and I haven't seen it in at least a decade, but I remember thinking they really nailed the dynamic of a friends-turned-lovers relationship. And the dialogue still felt fresh in a timeless sort of way last time I saw it. I have absolutely no feelings for my ex anymore, but when he got married, a part of me felt funny. I'm not sure how to describe it. I wasn't jealous, but I was immediately hit with a wave of memories. It was an odd reaction for me, especially given that I broke up with him and was even the first of either of us to get married. I didn't, however, push my husband away, and I didn't need space. So you didn't ghost your husband for weeks. That's weird, because according to everyone here, it's completely normal and acceptable to do that. Now for the little update. I have decided to break up with her, but I will wait 2 more weeks before telling her. Hopefully she will be in a better headspace by then.